It's Down to Business with Jack Miller. Forget what they teach you in school. This is real life, not Wall Street, but Main Street. A real show on what's really involved with starting and running a business with all the ups and downs. Our guests will answer your questions and provide you with valuable information. Stay tuned and join in the conversation.
When the earth was created,
and I'm 53, so I grew up in the era of Bruce Jenner, and I wish him happiness. And I don't want to make a political statement. I don't really care. Whatever I believe, whatever anyone does in their life, let them do it. I couldn't care less. But one of the ththings I'm starting to see is people on Facebook compare him to war heroes and people who were in D-Day in Iraq and saying, you know, how much they're kind of saying, oh, this is courage. It's for him to come out compared to a veteran who really took bullets. And I keep thinking, without being political, the truth is everyone has their own courage, and some people are scared of different things, and maybe it was more courage for him to come out and admit his feelings than a guy to go fight in a battle. Or I know someone who's actually scared to leave their own house, and to them, leaving their house takes more courage than different things. So I think to those people who are I don't want to say bashing, but comparing the media and the pop culture to Bruce or Caitlyn, I think you got to realize that courage is different to everyone else. To some people, going out to dinner or talking or leaving their house or whatever takes more courage than a guy going into battle. I'm not demeaning the guys going into battle. Believe me, they're heroes. We wouldn't be here from them. But just kind of a little pop culture thought. I don't know. What do you think, Wanda?
Well, I think courage is immeasurable in different cases. I mean, it's different. It's different for everyone.
It's scary.
If your courage is you stepping out of your comfort zone, it's not you stepping out of someone else's comfort zone. So courage for you could be merely just stepping out of the room, you know?
But that's my point.
Exactly.
And
I agree with you.
We shouldn't look at the next person to measure what's courage for them.
Right.
You know, believe it or not, I never asked a girl out on a date or a girl that would dance. I never even asked my wife to marry me. Somehow it just
happened.
It did because I was too
woke
shy
up married.
and too scared she would say no. You know, so it just kind of like assumed the sale. So we shouldn't measure each other's courage.
Absolutely not.
The other thing, I don't know, I was up the other night and I happened to watch, this has nothing to do with business, but I don't know why. I was watching America's Got Talent, which I love the show, but there was this kid on who was, 10, 12 years old, and he was legally blind. He couldn't see. He could see, like, they said, like a straw through his eyes. And he got up, danced so beautifully, and it really was touching because I don't want to say me who I have physical impairments, but those, not that kind of physical impairments, we always blame other things, but this kid really took adversity, turned it upside down, and stopped putting blame on everything else, and got the courage and the muster without seeing. If I couldn't see, I'd lay in bed and cry all day, and he turned it upside down, and I think people like that are an inspiration. Speaking of inspiration, somebody sent me a quote this week, or a couple quotes. I want to read them. It's actually, you can Google it. It's called Famous Failures. I don't know why the person sent it to me. Maybe it was a signal. But it listed it. I'll quote a couple of them. And again, this is to anyone who's scared to try something or thinks that if they failed, really what failure is. And the first one, it says Michael Jordan. It says, after being thrown out of his high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. You know, this is Michael Jordan. I'm sure he did, but he had the courage to get up after he cried for 10 or 15 minutes.
For sure.
And go back to work. By the way, I lock myself in my room every night and cry. That's just like part of the game.
I'm glad you locked the door.
I understand. Actually, I don't lock the door, but my dog comes in and my wife comes in.
Aw.
Oprah Winfrey, I didn't realize she was fired from her first job because they said she wasn't fit for television. That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination.
Loser.
Steve Jobs, he was fired from being CEO of his own company and removed by his own board. These people are great people. My point is, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't think you're a failure. If you get knocked on your backside, you got to get up because that's the way life is. We're not measured on how we get knocked off the chair. We all get knocked off the chair. It's how we get back up on the chair.